at the activity from Monday. So when we were in class, we were able to get through, oh my goodness, I don't even know how many we were able to get through. I believe we were able to get through the first 3. We solved A through C. So now we're going to look at our activity and we're going to look at letter D. So let me just sort of get my answer key. So we're looking at letter D here. We're going to solve this equation, and it says 10x plus 2x divided by 2 is equal to 8. So I'm going to have some people unmute themselves, and I'm going to see if they can walk me through the steps that they took to solve this equation. So be prepared, because I might ask you to unmute and tell me your steps when you solve this equation. So can I have Connor, can you unmute for me, and can you tell me the first step that you did here, or that we can do here if you didn't get a chance to do this one?
What I did is how it says 10x plus 2x divided by 2. I multiplied 10x and 2x by 2 along with the 8, because what you do on one side, you do to the other.
Okay.
To undo that division.
Okay, perfect. So he said he multiplied each side by this reciprocal of 2. Good, because this is divide by 2 here. So to undo that, you would have to multiply each side by 2. Let me just grab my door. Give me 1 second. I tend to talk loud, and I don't want to disturb Miss Blanc. So if I multiply my left side by 2, I multiply my right side by 2. And these 2's cancel out on the left side. I'm left with 10x plus 2 equals 16. Then, Connor, what did you do next?
What I did is I took away, or I added the 4x or the 2x and the 10x together.
Good. And you got a total of how many x's?
12x.
12x is equal to?
16.
16, very good. And then how do I isolate my x here?
You divide each side by 12.
Divide each side by 12. Very good. Divide each side by 12, and I get a final answer of x is equal to, divide by 4, 4 over 3. Okay? So on your piece of paper, you had to do it out on a piece of paper. Some people had a packet. Some people had to use their notebooks if they were at home. That should be written out on your piece of paper, because we will be inserting these pictures of our work. So please make sure that you are writing this down on your piece of paper as we're going. Okay? So this was letter D. If you didn't get A through C, you should have watched that video if you weren't able to join our live stream on Monday. So this is what we have for a letter D. I'm going to now erase, and we're going to look at letter E. That's the next letter in the alphabet, is E. And I'm going to have, let's see, Ian, can I have you unmute, and I want you to help me with this problem here. What's your first step, Ian?
I first did, I subtracted 4 from the negative 14 on the left side.
Oh, so he subtracted the 4 from the negative 14. And sorry, I know that says the volume, but I'm just turning it up so I can hear you a little bit better. So he combined his like terms. So negative 14 and negative 4 combines to a negative 18 is equal to what, Ian?
Negative 18. Well, equal to negative 13 minus 8x.
Very good. So then what was your next move here?
I got rid of the 13 on the right side by subtracting it.
Very good. Because this is a positive 13, we can bring it over to the other side because we want to bring our constants to the left by subtracting 13 from each side. And you were left with what, Ann?
Negative 31 equals 8x.
Negative 31 equals 8x. How did you get your simple? What did you do to do the next step here?
I divided by 8 to cancel out the multiplication.
Very good, because remember, 8x is the same thing as saying 8 times x. To undo it is to divide by 8, divide by 8. Negative 31 eighths is equal to x. I would take this answer. You don't need to write it as a mixed number. You can leave it as an improper fraction. Let me check this chat. Won't the 8 be negative? Well, yes, because we didn't bring that negative down. Thank you, Gabe, for catching that. So it would be negative. So then this can actually simplify to 31 over 8. Good catch, Gabe. Equals x. Nice job. Because the 8 was negative, because it was a minus 8x. Minus 8x gets brought down here. So then divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8. We would get 31 eighths. Nice catch there, Gabe. Thank you. Okay. Once again, as I said, if you didn't have this written down, this needs to get written down because pictures of our work will be inserted in these slides. So please hold on to this and we will be putting them in at the end. Okay. So let's take a look at F. Let me just. So let's take a look at F. I'm going to have Peyton share out. Actually, I'm going to have Cam help me with F. So get ready and unmute yourself, Cam, so that we can look at this one together. So Cam, looking at this one here, what do we think? Oh, yes, you can type your work if you want, Cameron, or Connor.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cam.
Oh. Can I type it?
Oh, no, I want you to tell me so that I can.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to Connor, sorry.
Oh, okay. For this, I didn't get it done, but what I would have done, I would have had to distribute the numbers in parentheses because they are in parentheses.
Okay. Okay. So oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
So she said that we would distribute. Distributing is 100% a 100% correct answer. Awesome job, Cam. What might be an easier way to go, though, to sort of simplify? Because when you distribute, you get larger numbers here, and we can actually do this other choice that we can do here. What's the other option that we can do when we see parentheses? Someone can throw in the, oh, go ahead, Cam.
Divide?
Divide, exactly. Because both of these numbers over here are divisible by this number here, that -2, we can actually divide it. So if we divide both sides by -2, or this left side by -2, those cancel out. We divide each piece on the other side by -2. We can simplify it. So what would I be left with on my left side here? Cam?
You'd be left, well, because you cancel out the -2, you'd be just left with the 7 minus 3x.
Very good. And then what would I get when I divide 22 by 2?
11.
11. And what kind of 11 would it be?
Negative.
A -11. Very good. And then I have an 8x divided by -2. So what kind of x would that be? What would the answer be? -11.
Wait, what was your question?
So 8 divided by 2 gets me what?
4.
4x. And what kind of 4x is it going to be?
Negative.
A negative. Very good, because we have a positive divided by a negative. Awesome job. So now I'm going to go to, let's see, Max, can you unmute and tell me what the next step would be here?
Sorry, I forgot what button it was. I would add 3x to both sides.
And why would you add 3x here?
Because you have 3x on the left side and 4x on, and I mean, because you have negative 3x on the left side and negative 4x on the right side, and you want to make sure that you keep 1x, so you want to add 3x to both sides.
So if I add 3x to both sides, I'm going to be left with, that's going to, on the left side, I'm going to be left with 7 is equal to what?
7 equals negative 11 minus x.
Is that going to be a minus x though? Because it's a negative 4 plus a positive 3.
Yeah, negative x, right?
It would be a negative x. Very good, because you said a plus an x, but it's really a minus an x. So I have my x's on my right side, Max. What would I have to do next here?
Next, since you have negative 11 on one side, and you want to get a number on one side, so you would add 11 to both sides.
We want to move our constant over to our right. That's called a constant. So I would add 11 to each side. And we would be left with what is equal to what?
18 equals negative x.
18 equals negative x. Can I have a negative x, Max?
No, so you have to add, well, you have to divide by
negative 1. Because remember, a negative divided by a negative gets me a positive x. Divide by negative 1. And I'm going to get x is equal to what?
negative 18.
Negative 18. Very good. Nice job. Perfect. So I'm going to leave it up for a moment. Max, you can mute yourself again. And we're going to move on to E, F, G, G. We're going to look at G, and Gwen is going to help me with that one. So be prepared to unmute yourself in a moment, Gwen. Okay. I'm going to give about like 5 more seconds, and then I'm going to start to erase. Here we go. Okay, I won't erase. I'll wait another minute. Okay, I'm going to give about another 10 more seconds. If you still don't have the work, hit the Control, Shift, and then the 6, like the button above the 6, and take a screenshot of this work if you don't have it. So here we go. I'm going to start to erase. I'm going to work from the top down because that's logical. Okay, let's take a look at the next piece. Gwen's going to help me with this one. Gwen, when you looked at this one, what did you think you had to do here?
So I didn't get to this one, but the first thing I think that I have to do is distribute for the 6.
Good, and why wouldn't you divide? Why wouldn't you divide, Gwen? Gwen, keep yourself unmuted so that you can answer my questions more easily. Why did you not divide here, Gwen? I can't hear you, Gwen. So why don't you throw it in the chat? Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Perfect. So we're going to distribute here. She's going to tell me why we're not going to divide while I distribute. 6 times 7, oh gosh, I hate that one. That's one of my least favorite. 6 times 7 is 42. So 42 plus 36x equals negative 6 minus 7. So, very good. So one said we can't divide here because that 7 is not divisible by the 6. You can't divide 6 into that 7. Very good. Nice job. So while Gwen is figuring out her issues with the microphone, can I have, or why don't you tell me, Gwen, what am I going to do next here? Just give us a moment. We can, she's going to try to type it in. So we are going to, I'm going to have actually Peyton. Can you unmute Peyton? And can you tell me what the next step would be here?
I put the 6 and the 7 together.
Good. And what would it combine to?
Negative 13.
Negative 13, very good. Is equal to?
Negative 13 is equal to. What's
on the left side? Well, look back at this, look back at my Zoom screen and tell me what's left on the left side. We didn't do anything over there, so read me the left side.
42 plus 36x.
Plus 36x. Wonderful. So I have my x's all on the left side. So I'm going to have to move my constant over to the right side. So Peyton, how would I move that constant over to the right side?
I did a 13 minus 42.
Exactly. That's okay, Gwen. Not a big deal. If you want to just watch along, that's fine. So we're going to subtract 42 from each side because this is a positive 42. And to bring that over to the other side, I would subtract 42, subtract 42. When I do that, negative 13 plus 42 is going to be a negative 55 is equal to 36x. So now, Peyton, what would I do here?
Divide both sides by 36.
Very good. Because this is like saying 36 times x, we would have to cancel the 36 out by dividing by 36. Divide by 36. Negative 55 divided by 36, I believe, does not simplify. 1 second. 55 divided by 36. Enter. It does not simplify, so it would say x is equal to negative 55 36. Okay, I'm going to leave that up for a moment, and then I am going to move forward. Kyle.
Steve Elliott, can you call 4835? 4835, thanks.
Kyle is going to help me with the next one, so be ready to unmute yourself, Kyle, in about 30 seconds, and you're going to talk me through H. I'm going to keep it up for another 20 seconds because you should be copying as we're going. And we will move on to H, which Kyle will help me with. So be prepared to unmute yourself. Okay, so I'm going to start to erase from the top down. Okay, let's take a look at H. Kyle is going to help me with H here. Kyle, what do we think is going to be our first move here? What do you think, Kyle? I can hear you, Kyle. What do you think we're gonna do? Go ahead, Kyle. What do you think? Somebody's unmuted. Can't tell who it is, but no? Okay. Awesome, Kyle. Wonderful. Let's have Sadie. Can you unmute Sadie and tell me what you think we should do with this one here?
I think that we should
we have two options, right, Sadie? We can either distribute here or we can divide. Do you want to divide by fractions?
no.
No. Blech. Gross. Don't do it. So we're going to have to distribute, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. So when I multiply 1/4 times 4, what do I get? So we would look like 1/4 times 4/1, right? And I get 4/4, which is equal to
1 whole.
1 whole. Very good. Okay. Plus, we're looking at 1/4 times 24/1. And I get 24/4, which is equal to what? It goes in evenly. 4, 8. Very good. 6 plus 6x. Very good. Remember, we can use our calculator for that one. I know you guys don't have your calculators at home, but we can do it out by hand if we don't have a calculator with us. Is equal to, we didn't do anything to the left side, so we still have our 6x plus 2. Now, Sadie, what would I do next here?
We would want to get rid of that 1x on each, or on one side.
We want to get rid of our x's on one side. Good. So what would you do to each side to do that?
Maybe subtract the 6x from each side.
Very good. And why did you subtract the 6x?
Because it's smaller than the 16x.
Very good, Sadie. We're going to subtract that 6x because it's the smaller of our two variables. Minus 6x, minus, this should be a minus, sorry guys. So what's 16x minus 6?
10x.
10x, very good. And then what's my constant?
2.
Plus 2 is equal to what's left on the left side or right side there.
So 1.
The 1, very good. Perfect. So we have this. Now, Cindy, can you unmute and can you walk us through the second half of this? What are we going to do next here, Cindy? Please don't leave me hanging, Cindy. Please unmute yourself and tell me, what would you do next here? Subtract 2 from each side. Very good. And we would subtract 2 from each side. Next time, I want you to be brave and I want you to unmute and shout out your answer to the world. So we would subtract 2 from each side because we need to bring this constant over to the left or to the right side. And to do that, you would do the opposite operation. The opposite of addition is subtraction. We would be left with what's on the left side, Cindy? So that would be the right side. The right side is equal to -1. And then what would be on the left side of the equation? Or the equals sign? 10x. Very good, Cindy. So then now how do I get my 10x to be a single x? What operation would I have to do there, Cindy? Divide. Nice job, Kyle. I like how you sort of jumped in there. What would I do to each side, Cindy? Divide 10 on each side. Very good, Cindy. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. X is going to be equal to negative 1/10. Awesome, awesome, awesome job. Next time, I want you to be brave, Cindy, and I want you to unmute next week, okay? Next time we have a conversation, I want you to unmute and I want you to give it a shot, okay? Ava, I'm going to have you help me with HI. So get ready to unmute yourself and share out your answers for I, okay, Ava? Because it's a lot easier. We can get a lot more done in the same amount of time. We're gonna try it out, Ava. So I want you to get ready to unmute because we're gonna have a conversation and we're gonna talk it through, okay? Let me just see who jumped out of our meeting. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that it's not Ava. So Ava just jumped out of our meeting. Okay, so that's not the way that we run things here. So let's take a look at, I'm gonna have John. John, can you unmute yourself and can you help me and we can look at HI together.
Divide both sides by 8.
You said multiply each side by 8?
No, divide.
Well, we're already, if we look at this fraction here, we already are dividing by 8. So if I want to undo or cancel out that divide by 8, what would I have to do, John?
Multiply.
Multiply each side by 8. Multiply each side by 8. And when I multiply my right side by 8, I have to put the stuff that's already there in what? I have to put parentheses around it because I need to multiply each piece by the 8. So what would I be left with on the left side, John? John, let me know. What are you going to be left with? Keep yourself unmuted and tell me, what would I be left with when I cancel out that 8 on the left side?
On the left side?
Yep.
Negative 16 plus 40x.
Very good. Is equal to, what's it going to distribute to? 8 times 2x would get me?
16x plus 4. Or plus 32.
Plus 32. Very good, John. Very, very, very good. So now I want to consolidate my x's. What would I do here, do you think, John?
Subtract 16x.
From both sides. Very good. Because 16x is smaller, we're going to subtract 16x from both sides. And when I subtract here, it's going to be negative 16 plus 40 minus 16 is 24x is equal to, what's my constant that's left on the right?
You'll have 32.
32, nice job. Wonderful. So now I'm going to have Kyle pick it up because he's doing so fantastic in the chat. What would I do next here, Kyle? You can type it or you can unmute if you like. Let me see what Kyle is going to say. Naseem, I'm going to have you help me with the next one, so be ready. So Naseem's going to help me with J in a few minutes, okay? So just be ready, Naseem. So what would I have to do to each side here? So I have my x's all on the left side. So I need to move my constants over to the right side. So how would I do that? What do you think, Kyle? Okay, let's see. Jason, Junior, oh, plus 16 on each side. Very good. Add 16 to each side because we need to move this constant of negative 16 over to the left, over to the right side. And to do that, I would have to add 16 to each side. I add these together, I get 48 is equal to 24x. What would be my next? No, that's okay, Kyle. Then we're going to divide by what? Very good, because we have this 24 and it's attached to this x by multiplication. So to undo that, I'm going to divide each side by 24, divide each side by 24, and I'm going to get x is equal to, never mind, Naseem, I'm not going to have you share out at this point, okay? Never mind. 2. Because your internet is so funky, I'm not going to have you. That's okay, Naseem. You don't need to help out with this because I know that you know what you're doing, so we're going to go from there. So make sure you have this written down. We will be, I'm going to be erasing in about 15 seconds. So if you need me to copy, please do that right now. I'm going to send Naseem a message. Okay, I'm going to start erasing it in about 5 seconds. And I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So I'm going to have Junior help me with J. So Junior, let's take a look at J. Ooh, J is super tricky. Junior, can you unmute and tell us what you think about this one?
I would multiply 2 by the denominator.
On which side?
6 times, or 6x plus 3.
So you're saying on the left side, you would multiply by 2?
Yeah, and then do the same thing on the right.
Okay, so you'd multiply by 2 on the right side, because to cancel out this denominator of 2, we can multiply both sides by 2. And then how would you cancel out that 7?
Multiply by 7.
You can multiply each side by 7 as well. And when I do that on the right side, my 7s cancel out, because divide by 7 times 7 cancels out. And I'm left with, can you read me what I would be left with, Junior?
In parentheses, 6x plus 3.
Yeah.
7 on the outside.
Yeah.
Equals 14x in parentheses.
Yeah.
Minus 21 with 2 on the outside.
With 2 on the outside. Very good. So then I would have to do what, Junior?
To distribute left or right side, but left's first.
We can do them both at the same time, or we can do them one at a time. So then, yep.
7 times 6 would be 30, right? Or 42.
42.
Yeah.
X.
And then plus 21.
Very good.
Equals 2 times 14 is 28x. And then 42.
Minus 42. Very good. Nice job, Junior. So then thinking about the next step, what would we have to do next here?
Subtract 21 by negative 42.
Very good. So from both sides, we would subtract the 21, okay? And remember, we can move our constants first. That is legal. Very good, and we would be left with our 42x on the left side is equal to 28 minus 63. Very good. Now, what would I get here?
I'm not sure.
So we, oh wait, I forgot this x here. So we got our constants to the left side, or to the right side. So now we need to get our x's to the
left.
The left side. So then how would I move this 28x here, Junior?
Subtract.
Very good. We would subtract 28x from each side because we want to make sure that we keep the 28 and the x together. So to do that, we would have to subtract because it's a positive 28x. So 42 minus 28 gets me. You good, Junior?
Yeah.
14x is equal to 63. And then what would be my last step here, Junior?
Divide 14x by 63.
Very good. So we would divide each side by 14 because the 14 is attached to the x by multiplication. So divide by 14, divide by 14. X is going to be equal to 63/14. And I would leave it just like that because 63 is prime. It's a prime number. Don't mess with that guy. Okay, I'm going to leave it up for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then I'm going to start to erase. So I think we're going to go, or I think we're going to do 2 more together, and then we are going to head our separate ways, and that will be our class for today. We're going to do a nice and sort of short class today, just going through 2 more of these, K and L, and then we are going to be all set for the day. I'm going to answer. Yes, go ahead.
Wouldn't the 63 still be negative with that one?
Okay, let's, yeah, Connor, I'm going to explain at the end. I just erased it. Fantastic. So it was x was equal to the 60. Yeah, it should have been a negative 63.
Okay.
Over 14. Good catch there, Ian. Thank you, my friend. Let's take a look at K. So K is not too bad. Can I have Gabe? Do you want to unmute yourself and talk me through this one? Wait, give me 1 second. Let me turn up my volume. So you are cutting in and out, Gabe. So why don't you want to try one more time, Gabe?
I simplified I distributed the 3 to the 5x and the 9.
Okay, so you said you distributed the 3 to the 5x and the 3 to the 9?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then what did you get when you distributed there?
15x plus 27.
Very good. And then did you do anything to the left side?
No.
Okay, so it was just 14 minus 2x minus 3. So now looking at that left side, I have 2 constants. So what can I do to those 2 constants?
Combine them because they're
combine them. And what would they combine to, Gabe?
17.
Well, we have a 14 and a negative 3. It's a negative 3. So it's going to be 11. Very good. It's going to be 11, and then this minus 2x is going to come down. Very good. is equal to my 15x plus 27. So then what would my next step be here, Gabe?
Add 2x to both sides.
And why did you pick the 2x?
It'd be easier to add 2x to both sides than to subtract 15x from both sides.
Very good, Gabe. So we're going to add 2x to each side. And we're going to be left with what's on the right side, Gabe?
17x plus 27. And then on the left side, you're left with 11.
17x plus 27 equals 11. Good. So then what did you do next here? Or what would you do next here, Gabe?
You would have to subtract the 27 from both sides.
Very good. Because we have a plus 27 and we want to move our constants to the left side here, we would want to subtract 27 from each side. And what would we get when we subtract 11 minus 27?
Negative 16.
Negative 16. Awesome job, Gabe. Negative 16 is equal to what?
17x.
17x. Very good. And then my last step here would be what?
Divide both sides by 17.
Divide both sides by 17. Divide by 17. So how would you read that final answer?
Negative 16 over 17 equals x.
Very, very good, Gabe. We said our final answer would be negative 16 over 17x. Please don't try to turn that into a decimal because 17 is a prime, so it's not going to be pretty with the decimal. Don't do it. Keep it as a fraction. Very good. Nice job there, Gabe. Perfect. I'm going to start to erase in a moment. I'm going to have, who has not helped me yet? I think Adam hasn't helped me. Adam, why don't you get ready to unmute and you can help me with, okay, L. We're going to take a look at L. Okay, so I'm going to flip through to L, and Adam is going to help me. Adam, what do we think about this one here?
You multiply the 2 and you distribute the 2.
Very good. You distribute your 2 to this 1 and to this negative 2x. So when you distribute, what are you going to get here, Adam?
You're going to get 2 minus 4x
minus 4x
equals x minus 3.
X minus 3. That's perfect, Adam. Now, what's my next move going to be here?
You add the 2 to the minus 3.
Oh, so you're going to bring your 2 over to
the negative 3.
Yep, to the right side. I was trying to think about which side you were talking about. So we're subtracting 2 from each side, and it's going to combine 2. So what am I going to be left with on the left side here, Adam?
4x equals, minus 4x.
Negative 4x, very good, nice catch there, is equal to?
X minus 1.
Minus 3 minus 2, negative 3 minus 2 more, doesn't going to get me negative 1, it's going to get me a negative. So when they're both negative, you add them and give it a negative sign.
5.
Negative 5, very good. So what would be my next step here? Adam.
You add the x to the minus 4.
So you would add x to move it over?
Mm-hmm.
What do we think? So then what would it get? What did you get?
Minus 3x equals minus 5.
Okay, let's pause for 1 second. What do we think about this, guys? Throw it in the chat. What do you think? Do we agree? Do we disagree with where we are right now? You're doing fantastic, Adam. I want everybody to throw it in the chat. Do we agree? Do we disagree? I've had 2 people tell me, do you agree, do you disagree? Keep going, let's go. Okay, and what do you think?
I think instead of adding the x, you need to subtract the x.
Why?
Because it's a positive x, and to get rid of it, you need to subtract.
Very good. So we're going to subtract x from each side. And Adam, what would we get if we actually subtract an x from each side?
You get minus 5x.
Very good. Minus 5x is equal to?
Minus 5.
Minus 5. Awesome job, Adam. Perfect. So then how do I isolate my x and get it all by itself? You
divide.
By?
Minus 5.
Negative 5. Very good. Divide by negative 5. And I'm going to get x is equal to what number, Adam?
1.
Very good, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. X is equal to 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, we took some time today. We went through about 8 or 9 of these. These are not going away. They will be heavily in this unit. This is the main focus of this unit that we're in right now. And next unit, we will be focusing heavily on these. So we want to make sure that we are practicing these and reaching out to me if you do not understand how to solve, okay? So what we're going to do, what I want you to do now, okay? So we have about 15 minutes before the next period. So what I'm going to have you do in that time is you are going to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment, and I'm going to show you like my camera, right? So I'm going to do some things. I'm going to show you some things on my camera. So what I need you to do now is, I'm assuming all of you guys, some of you guys wrote your answers on the slides and all your steps on the slides, but a lot of people actually like wrote it out on a piece of paper. Now your job for the next 15 minutes is to go into the slideshow and let me share my screen so I can show you what I expect of you. So you're going to go into the slideshow. And on each of the slides, you're going to take a picture of your work. So you're going to come into Insert, and you're going to go to Image, and you're going to go down to Camera, and your camera will open up. Mine is not selected because I did it a few times and I kicked it out. But you're going to allow your camera to use your camera on your Chromebook, and you're going to take a picture of each section of your work. So, for example, we have A. I don't know why it's not letting me use my camera right now, but you're going to take a picture of your work and you're going to insert it in here. So like, for example, let me just insert, you know what, it's fine. So you're going to insert on each one of these slides pictures of your work, whether you did the work in a notebook or on the slides. So some people were in school and got copies of the slides. You can take a picture of each one of the slides for that. Or you can take a picture of your notebook if you use that. Yes, if you typed it, that's okay. Exactly, that's the reason, Kyle, thank you. So that is gonna be one of your tasks for today. Your other task for today is to, on the classroom, I am gonna be posting on our stream a link to this video right here. This video is me going through the activity from yesterday. So I have my textbook, right? And in our textbook yesterday, we went through activity in lesson 14. Lesson 14.3 had 10 equations that you could solve. The reason that we're not going to go through them in class is because it's not mandatory for the lesson. Like for the lesson itself, it wasn't like mandatory that I solved all of them. But I had a couple people reach out and say, can you make a video of you going through how to solve equations? And that's what I did. So this video right here is me going through all 10 of the equations from classwork, from the classwork yesterday. So like if you click it, there's a lot of talking. Sorry guys. And then if you look down in the comment below, I put a comment on it that has timestamps. So if you just wanted to look at H, you can go to 5 minutes and 47 seconds, and that's where H starts. No, you don't have to watch it, but this is for people that maybe are struggling with solving and want to see me go through a few more problems together. Okay? So it's not mandatory that you watch it because it's like 30 minutes long, but it's suggested that you watch it if there's a couple from yesterday that you were like, how did I solve that? And I actually went through and I solved letter A. So if you were curious about how do you solve letter A, because that one was really challenging, this video right here will show you how to solve letter A. So we're not leaving yet. Let's stay in. I'm going to stop sharing. So you want to make sure by the end of the day today, you have your pictures from today's slides. So the work from Monday, have those pictures inserted and take a look at that video if you would like to watch how to solve. I suggest you watch it because it's kind of, I go through all the steps and all the different possibilities, but you don't have to. Does anybody have any questions for me? Nope. So before you leave, please don't leave. Tomorrow I am live streaming my class. So you need to be logged into the live stream. I'm going to put a link up. In our class meeting time for tomorrow is at 10:01. So please make sure that every single person that's at home is logging into the live stream tomorrow because it's new learning and I don't want you to miss the lesson. Does that make sense? So everybody at home, I need you to make sure that you log in. People that are at home that are CVL, can I have you guys stay behind? So that's like, let's see, Cindy, that's Gabe, that's, let's see, Naseem, that is everybody who's in here that is CVL. So I want you guys to stay behind just for like literally 20 seconds. And then everybody else can head out. So I just need Naseem, Cindy, Gabe, and that's pretty much it. So my friends that are CVL at home, I'm gonna run and grab something real quick. Just give me 1 second. So, Gabe, is your mom at school today? Can you let me know in the chat? Is okay. So, I'll run down and I'll check. But so we have textbooks, and I suggest to you. So what I'm going to do is, so everybody has a textbook. That's in school, but I want to make sure that everybody at home also gets a copy of the textbook. So are any of you guys able to like make a trip to the school today to come pick up a textbook or tomorrow? Naseem, Cindy, do you think you would be able to somehow get to the school within today or tomorrow to pick up a textbook? So why don't you check, Naseem, and then send me an email because I can leave this in the office for you and you can come pick it up. And perfect. So I'll leave it down with by her classroom and make sure that she brings it home to you so that you can do the work in this. So tomorrow, for the live stream, you're gonna need to follow along on the Google Slides, but after that, you won't even need to use the Google Slides anymore. We're gonna use the textbook. Cindy, what do you think? Could you somehow get to the school, Cindy, to pick up a textbook or no? Okay, so Naseem, you can send me an email today if you're able to, and I can leave it in the office. Cindy, do you want me to run down and leave it there now? Because you can come like today during classes and come pick it up, or someone can. Okay, so I will leave, you know what, I'll leave 2 of them in the office just in case, Naseem. Yes, you can leave, Naseem. Send me an email if you can or can't come pick it up. You can head out. Cindy, thank you for being brave and helping me in the chat today. Awesome job, okay? And Gabe, I will leave one down for your mom to bring home for you tomorrow, okay? Bye, guys.